Hey folks, thanks a lot for dropping by RC Crawling and Aviation Adventures. I appreciate every view, every viewer, every subscriber. Yes, sirree. You can see how nicely my Carbon Cub S2 a 1300 millimeter wingspan sweet pea of an airplane fits in the back of my Mazda CX-9. She fits in there pretty good. I have this highly advanced system for keeping the plane from moving, and to keep it level I have these things under the wheels to keep it from rolling forward when I have to slam on the brakes driving, because some nitwit ahead of me, wasn't paying attention and slammed on the brakes. Same thing in the other wheel. It's level so that the wing's not touching anywhere. Not touching. It weathers bumps. Got the tail supported there on a little cradle I made for it. And if you look back here, the tail wheel's not touching anything. Yeah, this bird's ready to travel. All right, what we're talking about now is I posted a video showing how, in my opinion, how really nice the light kit is I installed on this, which was something I picked up from Amazon. It was only $14, right? I installed a $14 RC airplane or helicopter light kit that I got from Amazon for $14. Installed it last night, and they look fantastic. Check out my video on this channel, RC Crawling and Aviation Adventures, and look at that video of the lights because they're great. Now, I had owned and installed these lights previously on another aircraft, which was my Blade 230 SV2, and they were fantastic. They even saved me from losing my helicopter. They were so bright that in a storm came in while I was flying, night flying. A storm came in while I was night flying, rain, heavy rain, clouds, fog. And so when she was in the air, this plane, I got disoriented. And I finally said to myself, well, I decided to go into a flat rudder turn until I see the landing lights on the helicopter from this kit. And amazingly, I could see that very clearly. And the helicopter was way far away and way high by this time. I was able to fly it back to my takeoff location by looking at the lights on this plane to orient myself. I could see the tail, two flashing tail red beacon lights on the helicopter when I was going, the wrong way, as far as going to the left of me or to the right of me instead of towards me. And I could see especially those landing lights. When I pointed them towards me, I could really see them. So I already knew that these lights are fantastic. And also, now let me show them to you. First of all, if you go on Amazon, I don't know how to put a link up for this. So I'm sorry, I'm low tech. I'm old and old technology. But if you go on Amazon, just search for the brand name of this. Let me put this right side up. Actually, it's upside down. Let's try this one more time. All right, as you can see, it says Dilwe, D-I-L-W-E, RC airplane, helicopter, and the rest of it is light kit. So just search on Amazon for Dilwe RC airplane helicopter lights kit, and you'll come onto this. Here's the package. Okay, so you can see a couple of airplanes on there. Simulated LED system. And it says, can we get focus? Let me lean this up against the airplane giant tire and see if the camera likes it better like this. All right, so there we go. So it says, easy to use scale lighting set, suitable for 30 to 60 size scale model helicopters and aeroplanes. I don't know what a 30 to 60 size is, but I've only been in the RC flying hobby for about 4 or 5 years, so I don't know. And it tells you what you get with the set. It includes 2 red beacon lights, 2 white strobe lights, pardon me, 1 red and 1 green navigation light, and a set of landing lights. Fantastic. Okay, so in addition to these being really bright and really great, as I mentioned, another really great thing about these lights, and in addition to being only $14, excuse me again, and in addition to being a nice complete set with 8 lights total and everything that you really need, in addition to that, it's a really easy install. Now, even for a first timer. Now here you can see the 2 little trucks at the top show you where you want to put the lights on your airplane at the upper left corner of the screen, or on your helicopter upper right hand corner of the screen. And then the middle right hand side of the screen, you can see it's showing what you want to have top view. And ditto for the airplane on the left. The upper left diagram shows the left side view, and then the diagram below it shows an what is it, overhead view, underneath view. I think it's an underside view. Okay, so that if you don't know where to put them, that tells you even if you're brand new. Okay, so then, and this is the best part right here. This little diagram here. So what that represents is the lighting controller that comes with the kit. And by the way, I had recorded the full install of this kit, but the last few minutes of the video, when it was almost finished, my phone shut down and did not store the video because I'd run out of memory. Otherwise, I had a whole demo of this thing. But anyway, I showed what came with it and whatnot. Anyway, the diagram at the center is your little lighting controller. On the right-hand side of that, you see 3 squares. The top one's white. The middle one is, let's use my pointer. Can I grab a pointer? I got a pointer. Pointer right now. Okay, here we go. So, all right, so this represents the lighting controller. Now this one here, that's an input. They give you strands of lights hooked to wire and all coiled up, and then there's a little input which plugs into these. There's a male input on the lights, which plugs into these female inputs on the lighting controller. So this tells you that in this input, you're going to put your white light always bright. So that's going to be your landing lights are going to plug into this channel on the lighting controller. It's so easy and it's great. And then the middle input says you're going to plug in your red lights that flash in there. And it says here white, and they're also showing you what to look for on the strand. So now each strand is marked with a tag of what that strand is. So for example, the strand that is to plug in here, your white light always bright, which is your landing lights, well, the strand that you want to plug in here says right on it, white 2, all right? The next one here, a red light flashing slowly, plug in here. Now this is a mistake. It says white 2. It's actually the one marked red 2, okay? And it plugs in here. Pardon me. And then here, white light flashing fast. Those are your wingtip lights, okay? And it says to plug in the wire and light strand that's labeled white 1, okay? And then this is for you folks, those folks of you that are totally new. Because if you're totally new, you can still put lights on your plane or helicopter with this kit. Over here, that's telling you you're going to plug in green, which means your solid green navigation light on the wingtip for the starboard side. And then this is where you're going to plug in your red solid light for your wingtip nav light on the left side or port side of wing. And this one, the one that says green doesn't have a number because there's only one green light in there and it's easy to identify. The one that says red 1, it'll be, there's a tag on it that says red 1. So it's easy to plug everything in correctly. And then you'll see an output for your receiver, which is what this is about here. There's a strand coming off the lighting controller, which is a receiver female, and you plug that into an open channel on your flight receiver. And in the case of this airplane here, channel number 2, as I recall, was open. It was empty when I went to look at the plane, and furthermore, it was marked positive and negative, and it was marked to plug something into that needs a power source. So that's where I plugged it in, and that worked perfectly. So, see anything else? I think that's about it. All right, so now I'll just show you just kind of how I did it. So we'll move this out of the way. Okay, so the materials that I used were really simple. This tape, specifically, this here tape specifically, which is 3M duct tape. It's silver. Cost me $4 for a smaller amount of roll. There's a larger roll, but this is the smaller amount. It was what I needed. It pretty closely matches the silver on the plane. Okay. It's waterproof. It's waterproof and bomb-proof. Very strong, very strong. Okay, so I got that. That's one of my materials, if you will. And what was the other one? That was it. A pair of scissors. That was it. So the first thing I did is I took up the wing and I went inside And after I had all my leads connected to the lighting controller, and after I had the lighting controller plugged into the receiver for power, it was then ready to go. And I powered up my airplane, and all the lights lit up. And I kept them lit up because that was going to help me remember which lights to put where. Yeah, that was going to help me remember which lights to put where. So the first thing I did is I took each wingtip was going to have 3 lights on it. It was going to have a solid colored nav light, red or green. It was going to have a flashing clear strobe. And there was also going to be landing lights, not on the wingtip, but on the wing. Right, so 3 lights for each wing. A nav, a strobe, and landing. So what I did is, so that's 3 lights for each wing. So the first thing I did is I took a little piece of this tape here, and I used it to bundle the wires, all the wires for the starboard wing. Bundle them together so that I knew that those, to separate those from the rest of the bundle. Okay, and I did the same thing on the right side, on the right wing. I found the right solid. I found the right strobe light for the right wing. I found the solid red nav light for the right wing. Right, left. Let me just start over. Each light I was installing 3 light. Each wing I was installing 3 lights, and so I separately bundled those 3 lights for each wing, and then that kept them separated and together. Okay, and then I had two lights and leads that were flashing strobes, and I installed both of those under the tail, and we're going to take a closer look at it in a minute. So I bundled those together because those were 2 lights and 2 leads that were going to the tail, and that was it. So that's the first thing I did. I separated, the lights going to each wing and the lights going to the tail. That was the first thing, and then. Now, they only give you so much lead, so they didn't give me enough lead to go all the way to the wingtip here. See the light there, dead center screen. They didn't give me enough lead to go to the wingtip, so I went as far as I could. Now, in hindsight, this looks better, in my opinion, and is much more visible being here, because I noticed in flight when this flashes off these 2 surfaces so brightly, well, the solid light and the flashing strobe, they both reflect off of this paint here so well that it just lights up the whole underside of the tip of the wing here. It just really lights it up. Furthermore, because they're oriented and because they're not in a housing, I've got all that light, none of it covered up, and you can really see the lights really well from the front because you got all this. You can really see them well from the side or quarter angle or whatever. See, because I've got every bit of the bulb visible. Some of this would be masked by the mount or the housing. So I wanted full. I wanted the full bang for my buck. So that's why I did that. I put the nav light in the front, and the solid, nav light in the front, and then the strobe behind it. And I urge you to look at the video and see how great it looks. Just how great it looks. And then so that's what I did. So I bundled up the wire bundles, one for the right side of the airplane, one for the left side of the airplane, and one for the underside going to the tail. And I ran them out the holes. Ran my wire bundles out the holes, just like the wires for the ailerons go through those holes from the receiver and the fuselage. Well, I just ran my new wires right on top of the existing aileron wires, which were covered with gray tape. In fact, you can see the gray tape. There we go. You can see the gray tape right here very well. See that? They already had this gray tape, and you can see this is not a perfect match either, but when under normal conditions, you can't tell. But up close here in the car, you can tell. But they already had this gray tape. And the aileron servo wiring on each wing. So I just ran my wires right on top of that, literally right on top of that, from the fuse all the way across to here. And then I had a landing light to install right here. So then I had to come to here and run out to there to install the landing light, and then I continued onward out to here. I needed I wanted these to be towards the front rather than towards the back. I just don't really know why, but I did. And the results are more than I expected, so I'm really glad I did it that way. And then I just ran everything out here and and taped it in place. And again, this tape is weatherproof. I've had it last for years. It's weatherproof. It's very strong, and it's approximately, you know, the same color as the underside of the plane. Trust me, when you're flying, you can't tell the difference. So there you go. So quick and easy install. And what else? Yeah, I guess that's it. I guess that's really it. Now, oh, here's an interesting thing. Now I went out to the flying field to do a sunset flight and shoot some onboard video with a new $24 action cam that I'd gotten, which, by the way, was no good. And so I was about to take off, and I did my pre-flight check of all my control surfaces, you know, and I had a good lesson, not a lesson, but just a good reminder that checking your flight surfaces before you take off is not just for the video, and it's not just something you do just, you know, not really necessary, but you just kind of do it just because it's, you know, it's just a good idea. Well, you know, what I did is I was doing my pre-flight surface checks, not even hardly paying attention to it, and I noticed that one of my ailerons was not functioning. So I went inside, and one of the aileron connections for the left aileron had come unplugged during my installation of the lights. So that pre-flight control surface check saved my plane. Had I taken off without that, I would have been screwed. So there you go. Anyway, that's a little aside. So anyway, I fixed that, and that's it. And then they look fantastic. So anyway, yeah, so I ran them, as you see, from the fuse, landing light, center screen, to the wingtip lights. Yep, on both sides it's the same. And then as far as the tail lights, I did the same thing. I wonder if I can put some extra light on the subject here. You can't even see them, but I did the same thing on the underside. They're blending in pretty good. The same thing on the underside. I ran the wires from the receiver in the fuselage, through the fuselage, and then I finally came out. The last ventilation hole in the fuselage is where I had the... So the tail wires, excuse me, let me start over. So the wires for the tail red beacon lights are all inside the fuse, hidden inside the fuse until I get to the last ventilation hole, and only then do they come out. And they travel for a couple inches or so. And, oh, let's look at that. Let's look at that. Alright, let's look at that. Do it. Let's see what we do here. Not much room in here, but, well, can't really see it. Anyway, it looks clean. It looks clean. It looks clean. So there you go. I guess that's it. $14, easy install, and they look like $1 million. They look fantastic, in my opinion. All right, this is Mark. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate every view, every viewer, every subscriber, and I appreciate y'all sharing the hobby with me and posting great videos. Have a great day. Bye-bye.